This week, I'm sailing on the Disney Destiny, one of Disney's newest cruise ships. And like every other ship I've been on, there's some good things about it and some things that are maybe not quite as good. I want to share those with you this week. Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Sean Whent. I'm your host here at the Whent There Cruising Channel. And today we're talking about the Disney Destiny. And this is hits and misses of the Disney Destiny. So specifically some things about the ship itself that I liked and maybe some things I didn't care for quite as much. This is not the overall cruise review video. That will be forthcoming. This is specifically about the condition of the ship, the design of the ship, the characteristics of this specific ship itself. So let's get into it. The first big hit is just the overall aesthetics of the ship. Disney has some of the finest looking ships at sea. They have that classic ocean liner look to them, but this ship is certainly no exception. It just looks very regal or classic, right? And that coloring, similar to the cruise ships of old. It has the multiple smokestacks. Now one is actually a dummy one. They have a room in there, fancy suite, but it looks like, you know, your more classic cruise ships, your Titanic or Queen Mary or Queen Elizabeth, right? The old ships, and just really pretty to look at. And then the ship also is just in such good condition. Now, obviously, it's only 6 months old at the time of sailing, so that helps. But Disney does a phenomenal job on their upkeep. And so, I mean, it looks brand new. So just the overall looks, when you look around the atrium, I mean, you know, just absolutely stunningly beautiful. And I've been on a lot of cruise ships that have really beautiful atriums, but Disney is right up there. It's really very nice to look at. So that's a hit. Another hit on this ship would be the Haunted Mansion Parlor. So there's several bars on board this ship, right? They're obviously around the whole ship, but this one in particular is themed to the Haunted Mansion. So if you are a Disney fan and a fan of the Haunted Mansion, you cannot go wrong in there. And there's so much to look at, right? So as you walk around the room, you'll see the paintings that change. You'll see the fish tank with the ghost fish in it. Just so many little details that, like, it takes several passes through the room, right? The mirror behind where the bartenders work will show ghosts at various times of the day. Like, it is just absolutely amazing, the thought and care that went into designing it. And obviously they have some really cool drinks in there as well. That they serve souvenir mugs or with big presentation, right? And steaming or bubbles and really some fancy stuff. So just the Haunted Mansion Parlor, really, it's a neat thing to go look at. Now, a little tip on that, go later in your cruise. On the first day, embarkation day, it tends to be packed. And as the cruise progresses, it's a little less busy. But certainly an excellent venue. That's a big hit. Another hit on this ship would be the Rainforest room. So there's a Senses Spa on board, and they have this on all the Disney ships. Here it's on deck 5 forward. But this Rainforest room has something that the other ones do not have. It has an outdoor section. So it has multiple hot tubs outside, and around the perimeter of it, there are these hanging day beds that are large enough for 2, or I guess probably maybe even 3 people could hang on one of these things with like pillows. And it's a very relaxing area. It's painted all in green to look like the rainforest. And so really just a very relaxing venue. Obviously there is an upcharge for it. On this 4-night cruise, it was going to be $240 for the course of the cruise, so about $60 a day. But if you're looking for that getaway, and obviously it's adults only, you want to get away from kids, it's great. Now on the interior of it, of course, you have your sauna, the dry sauna, you have the ice room, and then there's just more hanging chairs in there and the heated tile loungers. They really did a phenomenal job on the Rainforest room on this ship. So if you want to give that little more romantic getaway or relaxing getaway, absolutely spend some time there in the Senses Spa Rainforest room. Really, really cool. Another hit on this ship is the cabin design. It is really nice. We have a deluxe stateroom with veranda, which essentially is a balcony room. But what you're going to get in that, you do get a full-size couch, which can make out into a bed if you've got more people in the room. But if not, then obviously it remains a couch. But the bathroom here actually is split. So you have one room that has the shower and a sink, and a second room which has a toilet and a sink. So this allows somebody to take a shower at the same time somebody else is using the toilet. And so you have a little bit more privacy there, and each has a sink, so multiple people can use that to get ready at the same time. That's really neat. But even those smaller little details, like the toilet portion of the bathroom has this little night light you can turn on, and so that way you can go in there at night and use it without having to blind yourself by turning on the full light. That's a neat little feature. And the shower side has the no fog mirror, so like that's good. The room has plenty of outlets. There's multiple outlets, USB-C and standard power outlets on both sides of the bed. Really, I mean, they do a phenomenal job on the cabin here. Really a big hit. Another hit on this ship would be the art and memorabilia. Now, obviously, it's all Disney-themed art, but what you see throughout the ship is paintings or concept art from their movies going back for decades, right? I mean, like, so if you're a Robin Hood fan, which I think is a 1973 Disney movie, there are pictures on the wall of Robin Hood, the characters from that. And, some of them are paintings, some of them are drawings, but really, really nice. And then like in the main lobby, they have a bunch of memorabilia, right? There's the 1923 restaurant there, but even outside the restaurant, you can see a bunch of memorabilia related to Walt and Roy Disney, the two sections of the 1923 restaurant. So a lot of little historical artifacts from the movies. And then as you go into either of those main dining room, there's glass cases in there with all kinds of production stuff from a bunch of the movies over the years. I mean, it really is just amazing. A lot of the staircases have really impressive art. It is just really, really, if you're an art person, it's tough to beat it. I mean, it really is impressive. Another hit on this ship, and this is sort of a miss within a hit or hit within a miss, however you want to look at it, pros and cons, but the adult pool area. So the location of it, it's actually up on deck 13 at the back of the ship. And it's different than the location of the adult pool on the other Disney ships. So the original 4 Disney ships, the adult pool is on the main pool deck, and it's forward of like where the family pool deck area is. And so, yes, there's no kids allowed there, but because of where it's located, you do see kids passing through on their way to get to like the forward elevators. And so it's not quite as private as this one is. This is up on deck 13 at the back of the ship. It's 2 decks above the main pool deck area. There's signs before you even go up the steps. There is no reason for children to be at that in any point whatsoever. So you don't see kids up in the adult pool area. That's nice. So the location of it is good for that. My negative within that, though, a couple little things. One, there's only 1 hot tub up there, and it's pretty small. I mean, so maybe you could probably cram 8 people into it, but it's not that big for a cruise ship this size with this many people. And there's also not a lot of shade up in the adult pool area. So if you want a lounger in the shade, then there isn't really that many to pick from. And then I guess one other little thing, it does wrap around most of the deck. And so if you're on like the far side of it, on the port side, there's a bunch of loungers there, which may be the shady side depending on the time of day. But some of them are really, really close to the entrance or exit, the on-off port of the Aquamouse roller coaster thing or water coaster thing. So what you're going to hear all day is on repeat the directions, the cartoon directions from Goofy or Minnie about how to get off of the raft or onto the raft. And that gets really, really repetitive to listen to that all day long. Now, if you're back more at the far rear of the ship where the adult pool area is and the lounger areas are, then they have music playing there. You don't hear it there. But if you do have one of those loungers along that port side, you're going to listen to Goofy all day long, which would get pretty irritating.
Hey, you made it! Now, please stay seated until your raft reaches the dock. Then step on out to your right. Thanks.
So that one's kind of a mixed bag, but there are some other misses on this ship as well. One, the wraparound promenade deck, which is usually a hit for me. If you see my other hits and misses videos, you know that I really do like a wraparound promenade deck. On this ship, it doesn't wrap all the way around. So it starts right about the aft elevators, goes forward from there around the front of the ship, and then back to the aft elevators on the other side of the ship. So you're not getting 360 degrees around the ship. It's still nice for a little stroll, but you can't make, laps around the ship with it. So that's a bit of a miss for me. Another miss on this ship has to do with the layout. On the Wonder and the Magic, there is a district at the front of the ship on deck 3, which is your bars, right? So at night, it becomes like an adult exclusive area with no children, and you can go from one bar to another bar. They're all different themed bars. But you have this adult area. And then on the Dream and the Fantasy, that similar sort of thing exists on the back of deck 4. You got 5 or 6 different themed bars, all back there away from the kids at night. So it's a nice little area to get away from kids. Here, there are several bars on board that the kids are not allowed, from DeVille's or the Cask and Cannon Pirates themed bar, of course the Haunted Mansion Parlor, which I mentioned before, or the Sanctum that can be adults only at various times, but they're kind of spread out throughout the ship. And so there isn't a like area that's exclusively without children. You can get there, through the mass of kids, and it's nice once you get there. But there isn't just that adult area overall like there is on the earlier ships. So I think that's kind of unfortunate. It's a bit of a miss. And then really the last miss I would say on this ship just has to do with the size of several of the venues, right? So I mentioned the Haunted Mansion Parlor and how great that is. It's too small. And directly next to that is DeVille's, right? That Cruella DeVille themed piano bar. It's really neat as well. It's too small. Particularly like at various times Cruella will come in there and they do a little act thing, and it's funny, but it's too small. It'd be standing room only in there when those kind of things occur. And then the Cask and Cannon bar up on deck 5, it's too small as well. So a lot of these really neat themed venues are just too small. And so, I guess give and take, right? They only have so much room on the ship. But if you put that much thought into it and it's that neat and people want to go see it, it would be nice if more people could get in there and actually do that. All right. So, some good things and some minor little things. But overall, it's a beautiful ship. And so if you are considering the Disney Destiny, I would not hesitate. It is pretty darn neat. Hopefully you found the video useful. If you did, please like the video. And if you like cruise content, then please subscribe. We want to be your source for cruise content. Until we see you next time, we wish you smooth sailing. Take care.